Is the lens dry? Nothing on it? Yeah, hold on a second. These guys are getting out of the car.
Ready.
Hold on, these guys are gonna walk up. There we go.
You're good.
Shit, can't make this up. What's up, y'all? Hey, we're gonna do another walkthrough, another like kind of case study, this time on an office building that I own in Berea, Ohio. So Berea is great community, solid, AB kind of an area. The big economic anchor here is Baldwin Wallace College, or Baldwin Wallace University now, they renamed it. And that's about a half a mile down the block. This is a 35 unit office building that I purchased back in 2019. And it's about 35,000 square feet, about 28,000 square feet of rentable square footage. And so if you add up or do the division there, it's about 700-800 square feet per office. And some of the offices are larger, some of them are smaller, some of them are kind of combined. And instead of, as you know, office gets people a little bit spooked right now. But the reality is small micro offices do really, really well for us. And we have 3 buildings that have like micro offices like this, and we stay pretty consistently occupied because the way, and I'll show you, we'll walk through, but the way that we've formatted some of the units is that they can be rented as like a combination of 3 units, or we can rent individual smaller units. So depending on the amount of square footage that somebody needs, they can come in and get a few thousand square feet, or they can get 500 or 700 square feet, and we can break it all down. So you'll see kind of some doors in between the units, and we're able to kind of block it out that way. But we bought this from kind of a landlord who had owned the property for a very, very long time, and he was kind of retiring. I think he was like in his late 70s or 80s potentially, and we bought the building, which had a lot of deferred maintenance, for $500,000. So we bought it for 500 grand. We put another $700,000 of work into it in order to renovate the exterior, renovate the interior, firm up a lot of the units, and make it really just modernized quite a bit. So I'm excited to show it to you. We'll take a look at the exterior first, and then we'll take a walk through the interior. Let's go check it out. All right, so we are outside, and you can see all the ground floor units have exterior doors. So that's kind of cool for a business where they can, one of their clients can pull up, walk right into the exterior door and have access. And then there's a couple doors that lead up to the second story, and those all have interior access to those. We have a big, huge parking lot, which obviously is not totally in use. And then that green space back there is ours as well. This backs up to some train tracks, so it's really unusable space, except what we're planning on doing is getting some of those mobile storage units. So we don't need all the space back here, so we can line up some mobile storage units across the back of the parking lot, potentially into the grass. We might gravel that eventually. And potentially between us and the strip center next to us, we might line up some mobile storage units. So that kind of gets around the zoning side of things, where we don't have to go through and get things approved. We don't have to build anything. We just have mobile storage units dropped and put up right there. We can move them around if we ever need to. But we have those, and it takes a bunch of square footage and space on this property, and generates a little bit of revenue. So now we can generate actually a lot more than a little bit of revenue. We can generate a considerable amount more in revenue, and these commercial properties are completely valued based on the income approach. So it's all about how much income minus expenses equals the net operating income that you're generating. And the more income you can increase, the more expenses you can decrease, the more the net operating income increases and is affected. And then there's a multiple of that, the cap rate, that gives you the building valuation. So this property, it was probably 25-30% occupied when we first got it. And we renovated all the units. You're gonna see how we've kind of hardened it and updated it and modernized it on the inside. And then we just, because we market it to small businesses, and there's a ton of demand for it. We are consistently between 90 to 98% occupancy at this property. It's almost managed like more of a residential property, as opposed to a unit sitting vacant for a long time. As soon as a unit comes online, we put it back on the market, it usually gets leased up, but the lease terms are typically less. They're usually 12 to 36 months. Most of these are. We have a couple of them that are longer, that are 5 years and 7 years as well. So let's go inside and check out what the finishes look like and get an idea of the layout of some of these units. All right, so this is one of those ground floor units where you got a nice big window, you got the door right off the parking lot. Come on in, and you can check out some of the finishes in here. So pretty simple, right? We changed out the flooring. We put LVT tile in. That's kind of that grayish taupe color. And we threw like kind of a taupe grayish color on the walls as well. Nice and bright, nice and clean feeling. It's got a modern feel to it as well. And, you know, we left some of this stuff here in case people wanted it. So it already had some cabinets and kind of this built-in area. So we left it here. This unit happens to have bathroom in it, and actually all the ground floor units do have their own bathrooms. So they all have their own, and then the upstairs units have common area bathrooms. But here's what's kind of neat is there's an exterior door on this side. Come over here. There's another exterior door on this side. Just turn on the light, for you. And so if somebody wanted to, they could rent the entire space, or we can put up a wall for them right here, and we can either rent out that as a smaller space and this as a bigger space, or if somebody wanted both of them, then we could put up the wall, and they might just want a different meeting space for their office. And so there's a lot of different availability. Here's another thing. They have, we can make many of these up and down type of units too. So we actually blocked off the wall up there, but if we wanted to, it'd be easy to remove that and just put another door in or open it up altogether. And if somebody wanted even more space over here, they could have the front, go upstairs, and then have a couple different offices. So it makes sense on a functionality standpoint as well. So a few thousand square feet over on this side of the building was already set up kind of like, almost like a dental office with one main office with a bunch of little offices off of it. And so in that one, we decided to turn it into kind of like micro offices. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 offices that are all smaller. So they might only be a few $100 per office, but it allows us to have many varying floor plans and many varying sizes of office, which no matter who comes in, no matter how much square footage they need, we can get creative on finding them exactly what they need. And as they grow their business, they can grow into more space and stay right here at the same location, just maybe move office number or office letter. But this common area has common area bathrooms. Over here, there's a conference room that people can meet at, and then there's a kitchen as well. That's a common area kitchen. So, you know, new cabinets, stainless appliances, and so it's perfect for an entrepreneur who just needs to get out of the house and meet clients somewhere, or not be kind of bothered and interrupted by having kids in the home, and just allows them to have some place to go put their head down. We take care of all the utilities on this side, so it's just one payment, and they have some place where they can come and get some work done. So this 35-unit office building that we bought in Berea, Ohio, we found it on the MLS. It was listed on LoopNet and the MLS, and we made an offer on it. We actually get a lot of deals off of the MLS just because we're willing to swing the bat a lot. And we make offers. A lot of times they tell us, go take a hike, right? Go pound stand, and not interested in your offer. And many times we get some pretty amazing deals just by making offers from properties that are on the MLS, on LoopNet, that have been sitting there for a little while. So we found this on the MLS, we made an offer on it, and we're willing to get our hands dirty. You know, we're not always looking for just stabilized stuff. We buy a lot of value add property, balance that with buying some stabilized property as well, and figuring out ways on how to increase the value, how to force appreciation by putting sweat equity in, as opposed to just speculating and hoping that appreciation occurs. If we get that on top, that's just, again, a cherry on top, but we would never ever bank on that. We like to have very predictable results in our business. So we bought it with a bank loan in order to buy it, renovate it. They give us about 85% loan to value on it, or loan to cost on it, which gave us enough money to buy it, renovate it, and get it cash flowing positive. And so we were into it for about, I think we're into it for about 1.2 to 1.3 million right now. And the stabilized value based on where the rents are and the occupancy and how we got way above what we hoped we would get in rents puts the valuation probably around $1.8 to $2 million on this building. So it puts us in a position where we've created a lot of value. We're all in for about 60 to 65 cents on the dollar of what this is worth. We then refinanced it after about 2 years with a bank loan. Right now we have a bank loan that's around 4.5% interest rate, 25-year amortization with 2 5-year terms, which means after 5 years, the loan will reset at whatever rate is at that time, but we have another 5 years of timeline on it. But we're slamming down principal pretty considerably just because it is a 25-year loan term. So we're hammering away at principal payments, the loan amount's coming down, the rents continuously get bumped up to more of a market, the rents continuously get bumped up, and it puts us in a position where we pick our head up in 5 or 10 years, whenever it is time to either refinance or sell this building, and we've created a ton of value, paid down principal, property's appreciated, and even though we have about, let's call it $600,000 of equity in the deal right now, another 8 to 10 years from now, we should be sitting on probably north of $1 million of equity, which gives us a lot of options. We can refinance, pull some tax-free refinance proceeds out and let it just keep on paying down principal again and property appreciating again, or we can sell it, or we can get creative on it. Maybe somebody goes and gets a new loan and I can sell or finance a portion of my profits in order to push up and get a premium on the sale. So there's a lot of different options you have when you buy at a low basis. You create appreciation by putting sweat equity in. You're buying for cash flow. You put great financing in place. It's a great location, great area, and it's a nice building now that we made all these improvements to it. So put yourself in a position where you're pulling all these different levers in order to increase the value, decrease the expenses, and increase the value of the property, so that way you can get a little bit more creative and have a lot of different exit strategies on the back end. If you have any questions about this office building, or underwriting office buildings or anything along those lines, shoot me a message, put it in the comments below. I'll create content and create a video specifically for you, just to be able to answer your question. And if you got some good value out of this, do me a favor. Like, it helps us with the algorithm and making a bigger impact and making a bigger splash and helping more people. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel and comment below. So I appreciate it. Share it with somebody else who would get some good value out of this. I know that office is kind of a scary word in the industry right now, but the reality is, with these micro offices, we're making big money on them, and there's still a lot of potential, a lot of upside, and people are still looking to get out of the house and have some place where they can just focus on work during the day and then go back home to the family. So not a bad investment strategy, and there's a lot of opportunity around it right now, especially because people aren't looking to get into office. Lenders are a little bit more squirrely on some office. We didn't have any issues with refinancing this, but it creates an opportunity for you, right? It's wherever there's an obstacle, there's also equal opportunity in getting things like this seller financed as well, at great terms, great rates, and going straight to seller financing or creative financing terms too. So hopefully you got some good value. Appreciate you being here. I will see you on the next walkthrough case study. Be your best.